The deeper Sandra and the others walked into the bush, the quieter the world became. No birds. No insects. Nothing. Only the sound of trembling footsteps, muffled sobs, and leaves crunching beneath tired legs. The armed men pushed them forward aggressively. Move. One of the gunmen struck Ton with the butt of his rifle when he slowed down. Sandra flinched. Fear sat heavily inside her chest now, growing larger with every passing second. This was no longer a misunderstanding. This was real. Painfully real. Night was beginning to fall. The forest swallowed sunlight quickly. Sandra's white sneakers were covered in mud. Branches scratched against her skin. Her throat was dry. Chioma could barely walk anymore. Please, please let us rest, she cried softly. One of the kidnappers laughed. A cold laugh. You never even start suffering. Sandra's heart pounded violently. She looked around desperately. Nothing but endless trees. No road. No sound of civilization. No hope. After almost 2 hours of walking, they arrived at a hidden clearing deep inside the forest. Sandra froze. There were tents. Makeshift shelters. Old cooking pots. Plastic chairs. Generators. People. Many people. Some tied up. Some crying. Some staring blankly like their souls had already left their bodies. Sandra's stomach twisted. This had been happening for a long time. They were professionals. Not random criminals. Organized. Dangerous. One of the gunmen removed his mask. He was older than Sandra. Maybe late 40s. Dark tribal marks lined his cheeks. His eyes were emotionless. Welcome, he said calmly. Your families will pay for your freedom. Chioma broke down immediately. Bulano started praying under her breath. Ton clenched his fist angrily. But Emeka remained strangely calm. Too calm. Sandra noticed it immediately. As the others were forced to sit on the bare ground, Sandra watched Emeka carefully. He wasn't panicking. He wasn't asking questions. He wasn't even sweating. And then, one of the kidnappers looked directly at him and nodded subtly. Sandra's blood ran cold. No. No way. Could Emeka be part of this? Her mind raced wildly. Everything suddenly made sense. The bus. The setup. The driver disappearing. The timing. Sandra slowly moved closer to Bulano and whispered, I think one of us knows them. Bulano's eyes widened instantly. Who? Sandra glanced toward Emeka. Bulano nearly gasped. Around 9 p.m., the kidnappers began collecting phones. One by one, they forced the captives to call their families. Sandra watched a young boy cry while begging his father for ransom money. Another girl fainted after hearing her mother scream over the phone. The entire camp was filled with fear. Raw fear. Then it was Sandra's turn. Her hands shook violently as they handed her the phone. Call your mother. Sandra swallowed hard. Her vision blurred. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Then. Sandra. Her mother's voice cracked instantly. Mama. Sandra burst into tears. Everything she had tried to hold in shattered immediately. "Mama, they kidnapped us." A loud cry erupted from the other end. "Jesus!" The sound pierced Sandra's soul. "How much do they want?" Mama Nkechi cried desperately. The gang leader grabbed the phone. 5 million naira. Mama Nkechi went silent. Sandra knew why. 5 million. Her mother could never raise that kind of money. Never. The call ended. Sandra felt empty. Hopeless. Broken. That night, heavy rain began to fall. The forest became freezing cold. Water leaked through the torn shelters. Mosquitoes swarmed everywhere. Nobody could sleep. Sandra curled into herself, shivering violently. Chioma rested her head on Sandra's shoulder silently. Even Ton had stopped pretending to be brave. But then, around midnight, Sandra heard whispers. She slowly opened her eyes. 2 kidnappers stood near Emeka, talking quietly. And then she heard it clearly. "Tomorrow night, your own people will come." Sandra's breath caught instantly. Her entire body froze. Emeka was involved. Sandra couldn't sleep anymore. Her heart beat like drums in her chest. She had 2 choices. Stay silent and pray, or risk everything. At dawn, while the kidnappers were distracted sharing food, Sandra whispered to Ton and Bolano. "Emeka is one of them." Ton nearly exploded. "I knew that guy was strange." "Keep your voice down," Sandra warned. They quickly formed a desperate plan. Escape at night. Run through the forest. Find the road. Find help. Anything was better than waiting to die there. But unknown to them, someone was listening. Chioma. And Chioma was terrified. Too terrified to keep secrets. That evening, as Sandra sat quietly beside the firewood area, a shadow appeared behind her. The gang leader. Slowly smiling again. "I hear you want to run." Sandra's blood froze.